Be aware. When you let this go wild, you don't know what's going to blurt out. Let you know in advance.
I'm gonna make a change for once in my life.
Hello, Jade here. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe and hit the little bell so that you will get notifications. This is my new improved channel. As you can probably see, my channel is my own name, Jade Tornquist, but you'll see the banner. It's Believe In You, because this is what I really want to put out to the world. So today I'm doing a little bit of a twist. I'm doing a mukbang, what I eat in a day and getting to know me a little bit better video. So let's start with my breakfast. Very, very easy. All I had was half a watermelon, and I get up in the morning. The first thing, I have is an apple shot, which is generally one apple, one lime, one thumb of ginger, and I just juice that and I go, get that into me. After I've had about a half a litre to a litre of water. I then have a green juice, and look, I have that with greens. And when I say greens, that could be celery, that could be kale, that could be spinach, that could be bok choy, that could be whatever greens I've got in. Don't really overthink it. I had a lot of messages lately, Jade, what greens do you use? Just greens, any greens I've got. I even use broccoli stems if I have broccoli stems. Don't over panic. If it's green, it's packed with chlorophyll, which is brilliant to oxygenate your blood, make you feel good. It's the best thing you can put into your body. Okay, and then after that, I had my watermelon, and now I'm having my breakfast, which, as you can see, I've got a smoothie bowl, and I've got the V there for vegan, and it is just bananas and pink jackfruit blended together. That's it, frozen bananas, and I had about 6 bananas about this size, and I froze them off. When you freeze bananas, always remember to peel them, because if you don't peel them, they are a pain in the butt to pull apart. In fact, I don't even know how to do it. I know years ago my mum used to put frozen bananas in the freezer with the skin on, but it was for banana cakes, and she'd just thaw it and it'd be like a mush. But if you're making an ice cream, pack them in a container, and you just take them out the container and they bang, shove them in the blender. Pretty easy. I blended it with pink dragon fruit, and then I've just cut out some red and some white dragon fruit, and it's pretty simple. And I'm about to taste it and give you the results. So good. Coming back for more. Bellissimo. And then for dinner tonight, I already know what I'm having for dinner tonight. I'm having my warm chicken salad, okay? If you want the recipe for that, the link is in the description. It is hands down one of the best things I've had in so long. And believe me, when you've been traveling as long as I have, it's been 14 months now. For those who are new to this channel, I'm a nomad. I sold up everything I own, and my partner and I are traveling the world, but it's been a very, very slow process. And we have just been going through Southeast Asia at this point in time. We stop in places for long periods of time. It wasn't what we planned when we first left, but we've just found it's what works for us. And we stop in and we get to know the culture, we get to know the place, and we get to know how to live in parts of Asia. And what happens is, though, you don't always get the foods you want. You don't get a lot of ingredients you want. You don't get a lot of different things. And I often hear people on Facebook, I say, oh, I wish I could do that. Oh, you can just get blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I know. When I lived in a first world country in Australia, I could get whatever I wanted within reason. But I can't do that now. So I just learned to make do. But this mushroom recipe, I can get these oyster mushrooms, king oyster mushrooms, anywhere, anytime throughout Asia, so I can make it, as long as I've got my beautiful dehydrator. So Check out that recipe. It's absolutely just divine. It is called I Can't Believe It's Not Chicken, because seriously, it is so good. Anyhow, I just thought I'm going to do a little bit of a get to know you video, and I'm going to do it mukbang style. So, if you don't mind me eating, I'm going to talk about, first of all, yesterday. Yesterday, I rescued what I thought was a chicken. Oh my God. And now it's a rooster. So I named her Miss Priscilla, and now I've changed the name to Reggie the Rooster. Since I've been through Asia, I have probably witnessed more cruelty to animals than I've ever witnessed in my life. And it's not because cruelty doesn't happen in Western cultures, because it does, but it's all behind closed doors. In Asia, you can walk down the street and I have seen chickens having their necks wrung. I've seen them put into cylinders. I'll be riding my bike, I'll see that. I see little dogs just on top of each other in cages ready to go in for slaughter. I've seen cows waiting to go in for slaughter, and I can actually see into where they sort of go. I can't see the actual part. I haven't walked in there. I've got no interest in walking in there. I don't want to be a hero and do all that kind of stuff because I couldn't cope. I can't cope with just what I see on the street. And yesterday I was going through the market and I went into the fruit and veg section where they usually don't have any livestock. But yesterday there was Reggie, and I believe now he was drugged. So I realised that today, because yesterday he was very docile. Today he's like, hypo. Anyway, I felt very sorry for him. I was looking at him, I patting him, and next thing you know, the lady just smacked him. I realise now why she smacked him. She smacked him to say, hey, he's all right. Wake up, wake up, wake up. And I felt sorry for him. Next thing you know, I paid about $11 and I took him home. So I've got this rooster who woke me up at 5:20 this morning because I was planning on having a sleep in, because I was up last night building an itinerary. I'm meeting my mum and my daughter in Ho Chi Minh in a couple of weeks' time, and we're also going to Hanoi, and they're coming back here. So I stayed up late last night building the itinerary. I was going to have a bit of a lay-in, but up was Reggie. So my plan for him is I need to find him a home. So that's my plan there. I'm going to find him a farm somewhere where he can sort of have a bit of a forever home. Now, I had many people saying to me, Jade, just put him in a sanctuary. I'm in a third world country. There ain't no sanctuaries here. Now, for those who've never been into third world countries, I'm just going to give you a little bit of an insight to what you see. I see children sleeping on the streets. I see people living in hammocks on the streets. I see elderly women walking, collecting garbage, pulling, huge trailer loads of rubbish up hills just to make probably $1 a day, just so they can pay for their little mat that they're sleeping on in probably a little, what we would class as a corrugated iron shed, but not like the beautiful sheds that we have in our backyards in Australia or in Western countries. These are like put together and they've got holes, and it's just shocking. So, people are saying to me, oh, you should run a GoFundMe and have him put into a sanctuary in Australia. You should do this. This rooster is doing really well. If you saw the way the animals are treated in here, I've seen cages so small with like hundreds of birds in there. I've seen dogs on top of dogs. I've seen pigs on top of pigs. Like, this rooster's doing really well. This rooster's doing better than the way a lot of the human beings are doing here. So, no, I won't be running a GoFundMe for Reggie, but I will definitely, I want to find him a nice place where he's going to be looked after, and I know he's going to be okay. So that's my plan for Reggie. Okay, so I've covered what I've eaten. I've covered Reggie. Now I'm going to talk about me. Let's talk about me. No, seriously, let's talk about me. I have received really great feedback on my videos that I put out over the last couple of days. I was really nervous to start putting out these videos, and I'm going to be blatantly honest, I was. And I appreciate so much the feedback that I've received. It's really meant a lot to me that people are noticing that I'm trying to be as authentic as possible on the camera. And I'm trying to be as authentic as possible to my audience. And I've always portrayed that in my writing. And that's probably why I have a bigger personal Facebook following than I have a YouTube. And I honestly, and I've been thinking about it for months, I keep thinking, how come people get me when I write? Because I like writing and I write with my heart. How do I put this into my videos? And the other day when I just started talking about why I hadn't been on YouTube and everything else, I thought, you know what? I need to speak from my heart the same way I do in my writing. And that's what I'm trying to portray to my audience. And so your feedback for me has meant a lot because it's helping me find direction on this channel. And my greatest dream in life has always been to help people be the healthiest version they can be. And I never wanted to come across as you need to be doing it this way, you have to do it this way, do all in these boxes. But unfortunately, I probably have over the years come across that way, and that's because of my own personality. I have such a personality, and I've had that as a coping mechanism, I believe, over the years, because it's the one thing I've been able to control. And I haven't been, you can't control everything else in your life. I haven't had always, a smooth sailing rainbows and unicorn life. Believe me, you can't raise 2 teenage children and have a perfect life. You can't have family members and distant family members and have a perfect life. You can't have friends in your life and have a perfect life, because it doesn't work that way. Because as soon as you allow other human beings into your life will not be perfect. And of course, the same as when I come into someone else's life. I don't make it perfect. We're not perfect people. We bring chaos into other people's lives, and that's what we do. And things happen in life. There's hiccups, there's handicaps, there's pitfalls, there's all things that happen in life that make you But the one thing that I kept controlling was my diet. And it was a big thing for me. And I really believe that control that I put around myself, I was really displaying it to other people on the camera. Whereas it's not me, and I've never expected anybody to live up to these massive expectations. I've coached thousands of women, and I always meet people where they're at. But I guess my thought was on the YouTube, I will just tell people to the highest level, and then they can try and reach it. Not realizing that I had to start somewhere on my health journey too. And if I didn't start with the little footsteps that I started with, I wouldn't even be where I am today. And I'm forever a work in progress, and I've had fallbacks, and I've come back and fallbacks and whatever, and that's life. And I don't want to put myself out there as perfection. I don't want to put myself out there as a person that's got these massive high expectations on people, because I don't. I want people to achieve things to the levels that they can achieve them. And that is why I decided to reopen Raw Vegan Fruitarians for Life. And it's a brand new page, and it's just starting out. And I don't want it to ever be the way it was. And I'm going to be honest with you, I was absolutely miserable with that page by the finish. And it was one of, and there's a billion of them. But it was one of the reasons that was driving me so far away from the raw vegan movement, because it becomes so militant on that page. I mean, I was even getting told off by my own admins for things that I was posting on there, because I was starting to get curious about different things. And I felt so trapped and in prison. I'm thinking, I've originally started this page, I was happy if I had 100 people on there that was sort of curious and starting the raw journey, and it sort of turned into this big explosion and all these different view factors, and I'm trying to keep these rules in place, and then I didn't want to keep the rules I had, and I'm not having a go at the girls that were working with me. They're trying to keep the rules in place that I'd originally put in there, and I just wanted to spread my wings, and it was just, for me, I felt so trapped. And I don't ever want to make other people feel like that, because a forum should be a place where people can grow. And the one way you will never grow is if you can't ask questions. Oh, sorry, we can't have that on there because blah, blah, blah. We can't have that on there because blah, blah, blah. But then how do I learn? And so then you leave people saying, I'm drowning. And the other end of the spectrum that I didn't like, and I still will never like, is the dogmatic behaviour in the Raw Vegan movement. I hate it. And I will never ever want to be involved in any of that, those people that sort of are islands. And I saw that on Don Bennett's page the other day. He said some raw vegans are islands unto themselves. And I cracked up laughing. I said, how very true. And I don't want to be involved with those islands, so to speak, that are too egotistical. And, you know, you have to do it this way, you have to do it that way, blah, 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 because we're all different. We're all individuals, and what works for one person may not work for another. And not to mention, we're all in different countries. We've got different fruit produce, different seasons, and not to mention different affordability. Like, I'm over here in Vietnam, and I can eat abundant fruit and really beautiful fruit for next to nothing. I'll put it in the description, my fruit haul. Have a look what I can get for 25 bucks. Like, I've got like days and days worth of fruit for 25 bucks. Whereas for $25 in Australia, I'd be lucky to get through a day. Unless, you know, I can get cheap bananas or whatever. But realistically, it's very expensive to buy fruit in Australia. So predominantly you base your whole diet as bananas as the base, and then whatever else you can get, because otherwise it's just unaffordable. Whereas here I eat a lot more high water fruit, which is so much better for my body, and I feel more hydrated. And I do eat bananas, I'm eating them now, but I only eat about 5 or 6 a day. Whereas when I was back in Australia, I was eating about 20 a day. Whereas I don't need that many here, because I've got mangoes, I've got pineapples, I've got papaya, and it's beautiful papaya. So I guess, you know, those kind of things are the different things too that we people need to take into account when they're talking to people about raw veganism. And this is why I decided to come back. That's what I was getting to. I really had shut the doors on the raw vegan movement, and I'll be completely honest with you, I had. And I received probably over 200 messages from women who were drowning, trying to be raw vegans, when I first declared that I was no longer going to be raw. And part of me said, I owe it to these people, because they gave me their story. They said, Jade, this is what happened to me. I ran away because I couldn't keep up with the levels in the raw vegan movement. I couldn't do it. You know, there were so many. I gained weight. I did this. I didn't know what to do. I was hungry all the time. The messages went on because I had been vulnerable and said, I can't do this. People said, I can talk to her. And I thank those people for their vulnerability of coming forward to me, because it's given me a purpose. It's taken me 6 months to realise that I needed to be back here. And I know I declared that I was never going to eat raw again, but my body has just brought me back here because I feel better eating raw. But there's no pressure on anybody to eat 100%. And I did a poll yesterday in my group, and I said, what level of raw are you? And, you know, there were people as low as 20 and 30%, and that's okay. And they're curious. They want to learn more. And if I shut these people down and say, you can't ask these questions, how are they going to grow? And am I going to just keep a group for the elite? The elite that managed to have that, 98 to 100%. The reason I say 98% is because, people like me who eat nutritional yeast and spices and cashew nuts or whatever, I'm not 100% raw. So you can't really keep a forum for that elite because you're preaching to the converted. Everybody knows what to do. I mean, once you've learned how to eat as a raw vegan, you know what to do. It wasn't like I had to relearn again. It was, okay, I'm getting back on here. I just know I need to adjust how much I'm eating in order to lose weight, which I've done. But if you're brand new to these forums and everyone's saying, well, yeah, but we can't talk about this or we can't talk about that or, or you've got to do it this way. If you don't do it this way, you're wrong. How do we grow? How can I get my message out if I'm doing that? And I'm just going to move that. And that is why I came back. Because I just thought, I got to come back. I'm strong. I'm very strong. I'm very courageous. I've got no qualms putting all my warts out there. God, I'm 40 years of age. If I was embarrassed to put out my warts and whatever, I wouldn't have put out all the stuff I have today. And I thought, you know what? I'm strong enough now and I'm ready. And I'm more ready than I've ever been before to bring people over to veganism because I'm not doing it in the militant, angry way I was. So it's not, for me, it's not just bringing people into the raw vegan lifestyle. I want to have safety nets for people in case you fall. I don't want you to go back to animal flesh. So I want to teach people, you know what, it's okay. If you need to eat a potato, it's okay. If you want to have some pumpkin, you know what? It's even okay if you need to have some tofu or even, you know what? If you need some fake meat. Not that I'm advocating them. I don't eat fake meat. But you know what? If you're tiptoeing in and all of a sudden you freak and you say, I can't do this anymore. Rather than go down the street and buy yourself a lamb urus, you're far better off buying some fake meat and saying, you know what? Because in your mindset, you'll say, hang on, I still was eating plants. I still was doing the right thing. And it's really looking at changing those mindsets. I know I've talked a lot on here and I've sort of rambled a little bit, but these are just some of the thoughts that are going through my head. And because I told you I was going to put my thoughts out there, I just wanted to let you know sort of where I'm at, where I'm going. At this point in time, I personally am eating raw. If I have the odd bit of potato or pumpkin, I'll be openly honest about it. And I've got really no qualms about having it. I'm just very laid back in my way of thinking. I've done a lot of growing in 14 months. You want to grow? Sell up everything you have and travel around the world. Visit orphanages. Go into poor people's homes. See how they live. Walk the streets. And get on ground level with people who have absolutely nothing. And I get emotional when I talk about these things because it's a lot to see. Then you realise what life's about. Life isn't about being militant. Life isn't about being crazy. Life is about reaching people and putting the love out there and sharing your knowledge. And we all have different levels of knowledge. And not being afraid to share, someone else, I can't let someone else know. What's the big secret? Everything's out there anyway. If people search enough, they're going to find it. But they've chosen you to seek help from, so help them. And life is about being real and being authentic. I'm so sick of fake people. I can't follow them. I can't stomach them. I can't follow militant people. I can't. 14 months travelling through Southeast Asia changes you as a person, and that first world mentality, so to speak, is no longer there. And I just want to share my messages. I want to help people become the healthiest version of themselves. This was meant to be such a vibrant video. And I just want to bring to people my heart and share it. So, if you like this video, give it the thumbs up. Leave a comment below. If you'd like me to bring in some more mukbang rants, so to speak, I would like to look at doing it perhaps once a week. Leave a comment below. Let me know. Be aware, when you let this go wild, you don't know what's going to blurt out. Let you know in advance. Anyhow, thanks for joining me. Remember, love life, live free, and be kind to you. Bye for now.